Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3. Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3. Well, okay, welcome back. In this video, we're going to prove that angle A is congruent to angle D. So these two triangles right here are convoluted. They're put together in some mixed up way. But we do have some givens here. So segment AB is congruent to segment DC. So we have the tick marks here. And angle ABC, which is this angle here in all of its fullness, is congruent to angle DCB, which is this angle here in all of its fullness. So we know these things to be true. So let's prove that angle A is congruent to angle D. Now I'll give you one hint before I begin, and after the hint I'd like you to pause the video and just to think about the hint, and if you have an idea I want you to run with it and maybe even try to prove this on your own without me. It's perfectly okay to make mistakes because mistakes are how we learn. So the hint is that we're eventually going to show this is true by using side-angle-side congruence to show that the two triangles are congruent, and then we'll finally be able to show at that point that these two are congruent. So that's the hint. So go ahead and pause the video and think through it, try something, and then resume the video, and we'll see how it goes. Okay? Alright, so first things first. We know that AB, oh, my pen decided not to work. There you go. AB is congruent to DC, and so that reason is given. We can also say that BC is congruent to CB. So BC is congruent to CB, and the reason is the reflexive property of congruence. So we've established that. Now it's just time to get the intended angles between the two sides, and we actually have that as a given. So we already know that angle ABC is congruent to angle DCB because that was given information. Well, now we have enough to establish, I'll draw the arc mark here, but remember this arc mark here represents the full angle and not the pieces, okay? Same thing with this arc mark. So now we can establish side-angle-side congruence. So triangle ABC is congruent to triangle DCB by side-angle-side congruence. You may have been wondering from this step why it was important to say BC is congruent to CB and not BC again. And the reason is because corresponding parts have to match. So A corresponds to D, B corresponds to C, C corresponds to B. So that's why I had to write it this way. Well, now, since the triangles are congruent, so are their corresponding parts. And now it's enough to say that angle A has to be congruent to angle D. And the reason is CPCTC, corresponding parts of congruent triangles, are themselves congruent. And there's the proof. God bless you, wherever you are today.